These Biloxi blues, it happens every night.
Every night.
And I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine.
No.
Summer heat never treats me kind, it leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time.
Sing.
This highway does not know my name, and I don't care.
Nope.
No, I don't care. Heading my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare.
Just
a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Low budget. Live, the not so live variety from the Low Budget Live Bar and Grill here in beautiful southern Middle Tennessee. I'm not sounding like a frog because I'm fighting some kind of allergies, and I'm fighting. I worked in my garage all day long yesterday, which is just a total damn show, and the dust, I'm like bleh. But I also had maybe lost my voice from ICAST a little bit from screaming and hollering and late nights and all that. That's the worst, man, because you talk all day at the shows, and then you want to go hang out with all your buddies and maybe new buddies and whatever, and you hang out in loud places, music going, and you just yell, and then the next morning you're like, oh boy. So yeah, I'm fighting that a little bit too. So if my voice cuts out at any point during this, my apologies. And I'm recording this kind of early on a Sunday morning too, as well. But man, ICAST, always a blur, always crazy. This is the podcast for July 22nd, by the way, in case you're wondering, you bunch of low-lifers. July the 2nd, 22nd, 2024. We're just rolling through July. I'll get to ICAST in just a minute. got some things to talk about there. But holy cow, man, I want to say something about this, just because I host a weekly show, and I think sometimes when I record, I don't get to talk about major events that happen because of the timing of the show. And last week, Trent Palmer was in the bar and grill with me. What a great dude. Fun conversation. Go check that episode out. If you have not listened to it yet, watched it, because there were some issues getting that podcast out there on Monday, but it's up there. It's out there now. But we recorded on Saturday morning because he was coming through on his way back to Georgia from the MPFL. And it was, I think I told you guys we're celebrating the Triple Threat's birthday that weekend. So she and I were going to go to Nashville and eat, hang out on Sunday, doing other things. And so I was knocking the pod out on Saturday, and Triple Threat and I, Marissa D, we were headed to Nashville to go out to eat for her birthday. And she's in the passenger seat, and she's looking on Facebook, and that's when the assassination attempt happened on Trump, man. And, in my lifetime, and in a lot of our lifetimes, if you're watching this, like, that's one of the craziest things to me that, I mean, and I haven't got to talk about it or even process it, but it's crazy to think that people are that psychotic. If you're for him, against him, whatever, on either side, right? Same with Joe Biden or the president formerly known as Joe Biden, or the robot that's almost out of batteries, Joe Biden. Goodness gracious. It's just, we're just in a weird time, man, politic wise. And I hate politics. I think y'all have heard me talk about this, but I guess my point is, if you're that impassioned either way to do that, or if you're the kind of person that can make a comment, I've seen so many comments like, you know, and I think there have been some musicians that have made comments like, too bad they missed, like that kind of crap. Like, you're not Will. That's not all right, man. Regardless of what you believe or don't believe and all that, like, that's just, it's not okay. And there was a man that lost his life protecting his own family. And there's just, I think I'm not a big pay attention to the news guy either, but I think if you're paying attention right now, there's just so many crazy things happening. And I think the fact that dude was allowed to get that close is kind of terrifying for a lot of different reasons. And I have a friend, and I'll leave this with this. We were real close to some real crazy things, I believe, happening in this country, and because we're at a fevered pitch, but we do just gotta kind of just, it to me, I was telling Marissa, it comes back, everything in my life comes back to fishing, obviously. But it's the same way in fishing with people that, like, I truly think people get in fist fights over MLF versus bass or forward facing for again. I swear. Like, I don't think it'll get to the point that some dude would hop up on a roof, but like, we're at such a fevered pitch, and it doesn't matter if you're arguing about your sports teams online, whatever. We're at just like this crazy fevered pitch it scares me. It really does. And I know I can stir the pot as good as anybody. Don't get me wrong. But I just think we all just got to damn breathe a little bit right now. And it's just not good. It's not good where we're at right now as a country, I'm afraid. And that, if that incident doesn't wake you up a little bit, it's crazy. It was so crazy. But we gotta chill out. But I have a dear friend that actually put together an event with the former President Trump last fall. And he and I have had dinner and drinks talking about this a number of times since he pulled this off. And the amount of things that they went through to be able to host this event, and the amount of security and all the things he's told me about in the last almost year now since he's done it. And to see that a dude was able to get 130 yards from a former president with a rifle. I was at an event one time with George W. Bush. It was actually a Bass Pro Shop. It was a Tracker Boats dealer meeting. I was out there for my former employer working. And the rumor went around that George W. Bush might be there. He was on a book tour, and he might be there, and that you need to be at this meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. And dude, when we got in there, I mean, it was wild, the amount of security. And he hadn't been president in a very long time. So I don't know. I just always have a lot of questions, I think, about this one. I think so many people will as well. Scary day for our country. And it's scary. I mean, you know, a 20-year-old kid, like, what's wrong with you? Like, I don't know. Like, it ain't that bad, man. It ain't that bad. Go sit on the bank and watch a bobber, you know. And I know people are mentally ill and different things, but yeah, I just kind of want to address that. Like, that was, wow, is all I can say. That was just such a surreal moment. And Marissa and I, we were early for our dinner reservations. We actually ran an academy because I'm going to buy me some damn fishing tackle if I get a chance, always. And there were just people stopped in there, like they had their buggies pulled over to the side, and they were just scrolling their phones and watching all that. I mean, it was crazy. And I know y'all all watching, listening, whether you're for or against, this is never going to be a political podcast. If y'all could ever figure out how I vote or whatever, like I grew up in local politics. My parents, I think I've talked about that, both my mom and God rest her soul, and my dad are both involved in that. And I saw people either love you or hate you based on what side of the aisle, supposedly, in local politics, which is funny. Running for things like county executive. My mom was a register of deeds around here, it's just a job, right? And she was great at it. She worked in that office for many years before she ran, but she had to pick out a political party to be affiliated with, whatever. And I just saw that as a kid. I can remember being in the grocery store and people walking up and saying horrible things to my dad. And I can remember being, in my little, elect Teresa Duncan t-shirt, walking around at Fish Fries in southern Middle Tennessee, and people saying horrible crap, or people putting horrible things in the newspaper based on what what party you chose to run under in the local politics. It's kind of crazy, man. Very crazy. So I don't know. I just think we need to pump the brakes because a lot of this stuff, a lot of decisions get made by people based on what they're fed. There's no doubt about it. And we just kind of gotta, you know, we are damn neighbors in all this, right? No matter what you believe, you know, I think some of the stuff in the fishing world's absolutely insane. Does it mean that I hate somebody? No, not at all. Not in the least. So anyways, moving on from that, but wow, that was crazy. And had that happened and I recorded typically like I do on Sundays or we did a Monday live, that would have been a lot of focus on that. So crazy. All right, iCast. Let's talk about iCast real quick before we get to our guest. I'm very excited about our guest today. Goodness gracious. Let's go over the good, the bad, and the ugly from iCast from my point of view. We'll start with the good. iCast 2024. This was my, I don't know, 12th maybe in a row. Something along those lines, 12, 13. I don't know. I've been more than that, but like consecutively, like 12 or 13 years straight. I used to go when it was in Vegas. So however long ago that was, it's been a minute since it's been in Vegas, but I've been many times. I've been before social media was, hi guys, coming to you live from iCast 24. Hi guys, we're in the blah, 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 but hey guys, before your entire social media feed was just that. I was there way before that. And the show has changed. I will say the show has changed, but for the good, let's talk about the good. The good is the people. That's what I'm talking about. There are a lot of good damn people in the fishing industry. Good damn people. It's the best thing about any show I go to, whether it's the classic and it's all you low-lifers and other friends of mine, or it's iCast and it's mainly industry types, the people. The number of people that walked up to me and asked me how Southern Boating Supply was going. The number of people that were truly, you know, it was the first time I'd seen them since it launched, and they had real questions. The number of potential customers that came up talking. The people. That's what makes fishing. That's what I miss the most about the FLW Tour. It's the people. And there's a lot of good damn people in this world. There's a lot of really good ones in this fishing industry. And some of those people like Nicole Seeley, her husband Chris, Seeley Bennett now, sorry. But and her lovely mother Donna, first people I run into. Y'all heard me talking about Mr. Bob. It's been almost 2 weeks, has been 2 weeks since we lost Bob Seeley. And they were the first folks I ran into when I got there and got to hug their necks, and it was good to see them. But my buddy Carter Andrews, you just name the damn fishermen that we hung out, and just dear friends of mine, and so many people that I don't get to see near enough anymore, that I do not get to see anymore. So the people are, and look, what I love about it is I am sponsored by certain companies, and then I have friends that work for competitors. Or let's even go with like some of the folks at my former employer, good people that I hung out with, that hug necks, good damn people that are still just bros. So, and sisters. So all good. I got brothers and sisters all over the place, but the people, I'll say, the other good thing is cool. There's cool, a lot of cool everywhere at iCast. Really. Like there's some really, you can find some wild things. One of the coolest things that I saw, I try to document this a little bit on social media, was the fact that Bahio Sunglasses, they had a barber chair set up in their booth. They were doing haircuts and they were doing tattoos. Not the same guy. Haircuts and tattoos in the Bahio booth. The vibe was incredible. I've gotten to know the people from Bahio this year. Great people. Again, back to that people thing. Cooler than the other side of the pillow. The vibe was incredible in that booth, and rivals the matches, should say, the quality of their product. And good people. Bahio Sunglasses right there. But saw a lot of cool baits. nothing that really, I mean, I saw some things. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. But nothing really groundbreaking, but I just, you see a lot of, if you walk around, you pay attention. I mean, to me, there's a company called Bonafide. They sponsor Jordan Lee, and I think it's Native Watercraft, maybe. They had a booth there. Dude, their kayaks are next level. Next level. Made me want to be a kayak fisherman. Truly. Like I just want to jump on the kayak tour after seeing how cool they are. I mean, now they get a little carried away. They got dual depth. They got it going down, but very, very neat products. I think it's Native. I hope I'm not butchering that. I know it's Bonafide, and then I think it's Native Watercraft as well. Had a big booth, big spread, really cool looking products. Got to spend some time over there. I saw a boat. There's a boat company, Helios Boats. They were there, really cool. Saw some Hell's Bay boats. So there's a mix. There's a lot of kayak products out there. Nothing groundbreaking in the boating world that I saw really. The guys at Beat Down Mounts had some cool stuff there. I didn't see my dudes from Precision Sonar. Now that I say that, I didn't see that. But if they were there, Pro Guide Batteries out there sending it. Really, there was some neat stuff to be found. The Minners and the Jig Heads. It's the Minner jig in the bass world, because there's a lot of cool stuff from the overall, like you see some cool stuff in saltwater and some different things. But the bad, I saw shout out to Jackson Rumbanis, Fred Rumbanis' son. Got to text our guest real quick that we're running a little late. But Jackson made a post, said, and another one, talking about the Minnas and the Jig Heads. And some really good ones, looks like. But a lot of, obviously, that's where things are headed. There was a big emphasis on that this year. It was like finesse worms and Minners and Jig Heads. That's the bad for me. The other bad thing, and it's just because I'm uneducated on it, and I'm ready to get educated on it because apparently there's something to it, are the squid games, as I like to call it, squid games. The big fuzzy dice and the big whatever you want to call, like baseball looking things that you wacky rig that got tentacles that bass apparently love. I got to get a dose of it. If you hear that in the background, it's Charlie's alarm clock going off, as he should already be awake, and he's not. But squid games, we call it. This was the iCast of Minners and Jig Heads and squid games. And no matter where you're at in your bass fishing, it's hard to flip a boat dock with a jig head and a minnow. It's hard to skip bushes with getting up in them bushes with a jig head and a minnow. And y'all know me, I'm all for all of it. So whatever. But yeah. And then the ugly, that was the bad. And that's not really bad. I'm joking. But the ugly, my liver, still not in good shape, probably. Damn you. You know who you are. A shrinking industry. I would say the industry is certainly getting smaller by the minute. I feel like a lot of companies getting bought out. There were a lot of major companies that I know of that didn't attend ICAST. The vibe overall was kind of strange. It was kind of quiet, I felt like, even at times. I was only there for 2 days, thank God. And then I got out. But, we do these big social media pushes now. But there were a lot of pros that didn't come. There were a lot of companies that weren't there. A lot of the major ones were, don't get me wrong. But the booths get bigger as they swallow up smaller companies, it seems. And the same could be said for so many things in the boating world. Yeah, I've talked about this ad nauseum, but the industry is shrinking. And I do worry about that for the longevity of making a living as a pro, because, man, if you got every sponsor on your jersey, your boat wrap is all owned by the same dude, that gets scary. That can get scary, because if one goes, they can all go, right? So it is certainly shrinking. But as that happens, there are cool, fresh, new companies that are popping up that are independents. Wink, wink, Southern Boating Supply. But companies like Bahio that are out there doing their things, Arc Rods, out there doing their thing. They didn't have a booth there. Companies like Toad Thumper, and I'm affiliated with those companies, but it's what they're doing, their business models, those type things. They're sticking to their guns, and they're going out there as independents fighting the world, because there's a lot of and I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying it's reality. It's happening. And then the last thing I'll talk about from the ugly from ICAST will be the damn flights. And there were a lot of people. I got very fortunate. And about this non-cyber attack, whatever in the hell update, it was insane. I actually moved my flight up to get out of there a little early on Thursday afternoon, and ended up flying out about 6 or 7 hours later than I was supposed to. Landed in the middle of the night in Nashville, but I got out. My buddy Corey, Big C, shout out Big C. Big C and I were stranded in the airport together, so we got to catch up and hang out. Big C had to fly to Atlanta. He landed in Atlanta at like 2 a.m. finally after all these delays. Then the crap hit the fan. That's when all the computers started going out. He actually Ubered back to Huntsville from Atlanta with Jesse Wiggins and Brandon Lester. They were all on the same flight, so they ended up in an Uber together, split an Uber. Still not sure what that cost, probably a couple hundred. But very smart, because there were no rental cars. Then that was Thursday evening into Friday morning. Then Friday was complete chaos. There's still people I'm seeing on social media this morning that have not gotten home. They're driving home. All hell broke loose. But to kind of echo back at the show open, the terrifying part of that is, dude, we are so reliant anymore. Y'all gonna think I'm like building a bunker at my house after this episode, but we're so reliant on this stuff. It's like the AT&T cell phone shortage when that happened, or cell phone when everything just went black for a little bit. It's kind of scary. It is scary. But as much as I travel, these thoughts do terrify me at times, because you can just be somewhere and just not be able to get out of there. But as Big C did, where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm seeing all these people like, I'm stranded, I'm stuck. By God, I'm not going to be stuck long. I'll figure something out. But it is kind of scary, as much as I travel, to think about these things that you don't see coming. And now flights are delayed for exponentially longer now because of this, even though they're kind of things are back up and running. But our local bank was affected by it. Marissa's in healthcare hospitals were affected by this one software glitch deal. That crap scares me. That's like horror movie stuff to me, or sci-fi, or whatever you want to call it. Intense, man. Intense. So that was the worst. A lot of people, shout out to all the folks, the best follow through all of it. And I'm not, again, Freddie Rumbanis and Jackson rented a damn electric car, and it took them about 47 days to get home. Y'all need to. It was not laughing at y'all, Freddie and Jackson. Y'all know I love you. But it was spectacular. Keeping up with I think it's all on their Instagram, but go check that out. And they documented the entire thing. But I don't remember how they ended up in the electric car. But that's what I think it might have been the only rental they could get. But they kept stopping, having to stop because of the charge range on the thing, and it was just like, I don't think Fred Rumbanis is going to buy an electric vehicle anytime soon. Trying to get from Orlando back to good old Arkansas, where he resides these days. All right, let's talk about some more people, shall we? Fish tips. Fishtips.com. Maybe you're thinking about going to a lake you've never been to, but you don't want to hire a guide, but you might just need some general information. Maybe you need some specific information. Maybe you just want to poke around and see what all's available on Fish Tips. Well, there's experts from lakes. There are guides. There are pros on there dishing out tips. You can use code LBL10 to save money on your first tip at fishtips.com. Just the tip. That's all you need. Grab a rod and reel and tip and get out there. Gillfishing.com wants to give you a gift. If you spend $100 right now and you use code LBLGIFT, you will receive 25% off your order for the month of July, the rest of July. And then the gift switches up again. Gillfishing.com is where it's at. Get on there. Get you a hat. Get you some sungloves. Get you a rain suit. Gillfishing.com. ProGuide Batteries, ProGuideBatteries.com. I got to spend some time with the ProGuide crew down at ICAST. Some of my absolute favorite people in the industry that get it. They make fantastic products. They've got their new line of chargers out now. They're beyond impressive, and what will be in the Express next year, I will assure you we're rigged and ready for this year, but next year we're going to have them Pro Guide chargers in there. They got their new lithium cranking batteries. They have their new lithium trolling motor batteries in all shapes and sizes. Whether you got a kayak or a bass boat, Pro Guide batteries, code LBL10 saves you money there. Bait-works.com, Bait-WRX, the exclusive online home of the LOB jig. That is where you can find it right here. This little sucker with the 3/0 Trocar hook. Those are some more good people, those Eagle Claw folks. Finer than frog hair skirt material, available in several fish catching colors. Use code Duncan-10 at checkout for your discount. And last but not least, hang the banner, the Bassmaster Classic winning all welded aluminum bass boat, the Express X21 Pro. X21 Pro LE is what I'm currently running. But don't sleep on the X19. Don't sleep on the H series Hyperlift hull. They have a 17 and 18. They have a new H20 rated for a 175 Yamaha. Does not break the bank at all. More storage that you can shake a stick at. I will be at their dealer meeting next weekend, and I will get some video of the H20, do a comprehensive video, if you will, of the entire lineup there. Express Boats, building excitement since 1966. All right. Let's, if you can hear the alarm clock in the background, I know it's coming through the headphones really loud. Maybe y'all can't hear it as much, but our guest today this is his first time on the show. We have tried to schedule this a few times. He is one of the hottest anglers in the last 10 years, in my opinion. He's won over $1.1 million. He's got wins all over the place. Very interesting story from California to Alabama, coming up through the federations, through BFLs, through all that, and made it to the top through the FLW Tour. He was on the Circuit Breaker Series. That's where he got introduced to the world. I have been a fan of this guy since the jump. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get him on the phone right now. Mark Daniels Jr., as soon as my phone works, where I can call him MDJ, the one and only.
Hello.
What's up, MDJ?
What's up, big dog?
What's up, buddy? Welcome to Low Budget Live.
Are we live already?
Not so live. Not so live version. Not so live,
Okay.
but we are, I guess, technically live. We're recording. We're hot. We are hot.
Baby.
That's how we watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. You don't have to worry about that. Mark, I'm the one that has to worry about that. You know that about me.
No, I might let something slip, big dog. You never know.
No. We were we were letting it slip the other night at the Hilton Bar. That's where it was slipping.
We was definitely letting it slip at the Hilton Bar, bro.
Well, I looked up and it was me and and one of my former coworkers in life, and then just everybody was gone. Everybody was just gone, and I wasn't staying there. And I looked up, and it was about 3 a.m., and I don't even know why I was. Dude, I did not get in bed till like 3:30, and there was nothing. You know those nights, and I know you do because you work a lot of shows like I do. It's not like you're like, oh my God, what happened last night? Man, we went to this party and this and this and this. It's no, you're sitting on a bar stool catching up with your buddies you hadn't seen in forever. And the drinks are flowing and you're just bullshitting about bass fishing. That's all it turns into. And then you're like, it's 3 a.m. and you feel like crap the next day, like you went to a frat party, but none of that happened.
Right. Before you know it, man. Yeah. One beer leads to 2. You catching up on fishing stories and people you talk. The problem is we go so long without catching up.
Yes.
Life is always, taking us different places.
No
so
doubt.
then when we catch up at ICAST or the Classic or whatever, bro, we're trying to catch up on 2 years worth of stuff.
No doubt. I mean, dude, you and I,
at least.
I used to see you when I fished the tour, you fished the tour. I've said it for many years. You were one of my favorite people in the damn industry from the first time I met you.
Oh, man.
And dude, we used to just see each other all the time, whether it's in the weigh-in line or in the service yard or at the meetings or on the water. And then you went on to fish the elites. I still stayed there, and then the BPT thing happened. You went there. I quit competitively fishing at that, all the time. And then you would just start seeing each other like, hey man, at ICAST, we just run into each other. Yeah. What's up, buddy? We hug and move on. And then the other night was the first time that I think we've actually got to hang out, and it was random. I was like, there's him, DJ. It was random, but dude, you're right. You go so long in this industry, you feel like you know everybody. I know you're the same way. Like I know so many people that I'm like, yeah, it's a friend of mine. That's my buddy. But we don't see each other that much at all. And then when you get in that room, it's fun. It was you and DC and Wheeler, and hell, I think Swindle walked up. Polnick was roaming around there. You had our dude Kyle Wood.
Kyle Wood,
shout out Kyle. And Dan Quinn. You had DQ there.
DQ.
I mean, DQ was there.
It was loaded, bro. It was
Shannon
loaded.
Wheeler, Ben Ballou. Yeah, it was a good damn time, buddy. But it was good to see you. Something I talked about before this. I said the good, the bad, and the ugly from ICAST. And I was talking about my take on ICAST, and I said the coolest thing that I saw there, one of the coolest things, was haircuts and tattoos in the Bahio booth, and I think you took advantage of one of those.
Yeah. So shout out my boy Easy, man. Easy's a good buddy of mine. He was doing haircuts in the Bahio booth, and he hit me up before. And he said, "Man, I'm cutting, and I usually get cut by my barber right before ICAST, right?
Okay.
But for whatever reason, I couldn't link up with him, my barber." And so I'm like, man, I can't be running around ICAST looking crazy. So I hit him up. He's like, bro, just pull up to the Bahio booth. I'm going to get you right now. So literally, before I even went to my first appointment, I slide in there, get a fresh cut, bro. Now I'm looking top notch at ICAST, just like that.
I mean, that was the first thing you said to me when I ran into you, that you just got lined out in the Bahio booth. And I said, what? What is happening right now? And I knew they were doing tattoos. I didn't know they were doing the barber deal. And I went over there, and it was cool, man. Their booth was electric. There was so much going on over there, dude.
Dude, it was popping. I low key, I think that's one of the smartest things I've seen done.
Man, yes.
Some people got the women to draw you.
Yes,
this and that. But hey, the tattoos and haircuts was pretty cool.
Yeah, there were people just lined up outside of the booth. Let me ask you this, because you said that was very smart of them. I feel like sometimes in the last couple of years, maybe since COVID, that ICAST isn't, maybe the vibe isn't there because we release so many things online. Does that make sense? And I know you got a lot of companies you work with like I do, but you remember the first time you probably ever got to go. I was trying to count at the first of the show, maybe 12 or 13 years straight of me going to this. And dude, I could not wait, bro. Oh my God, we're going to ICAST. I hear somebody's got the such and such coming out. I'm going to get to see it first before everybody. And I would leave with some in my pocket every now and then. You'd buddy up with somebody, be like, here, take some of these. But now with the social media the way it is, I feel like I know about everything that, I mean, I will say Bill Lewis, one of your great sponsors, what's the new live scope bait they've got? What's that called?
Oh, the depth charge.
Depth charge. Yeah, that's right. I did not see that, unless I missed it. I did not see that one on social before the event. But I feel like a lot of companies, I saw a lot of their stuff before we actually got there, So I think I guess what I'm getting at, some of the buzz, you still see really cool stuff walking around, but I feel like some of the buzz, the way it used to be, is like when you're a fisherman, it's the show to go to, because you're like a kid on Christmas morning.
Oh, no doubt, bro. And it's been the same for me over the last, let's see, I've been going to ICAST since 2013, so however many years that is. But yeah, I think companies have kind of changed their strategy a little bit, given the power of social media, man. And so instead of just surprise all at once at ICAST, I think they want to kind of roll things out tidbit by tidbit to where it extends, I think, a little bit longer. Yeah, and I think people get excited about it a little earlier.
Well, and you got a lot of people that aren't like us. They don't get to go too. So I understand both sides of it. Like the folks the fishing fans that don't get to go to ICAST, They get to be a part of it. You know, it's funny though, dude. In the last couple of years, I've seen more comments on this show when I talk about ICAST. They're like, yeah, that's the week I turn off my fishing social media. Like fishing fans are like, yeah, I don't care. I don't want to hear, hey, this is Luke in booth 1317, ICAST 2024. They're like, dude, I turned it off. I turned it off that week. But we all got a job to do. That's what it's work at that point. But it's a necessary evil, I guess. But yeah, I thought there were some companies that weren't there this year. Overall, though, dude, I said the good about ICAST is always what we've already talked about, you and I here, the people. Seeing all your buddies. Yeah. Seeing people you don't normally get to hang with. That's always the coolest thing. And you do see some new baits. What do you think about Mark Daniels Jr.? About all the, Netflix had that show Squid Games that everybody was watching a couple years ago. Either got it's jig heads and minnows and Squid Games. Everything looks like a squid or it's a jig head minnow. What's the deal, dude? Why are we going towards everything looks like a damn alien head? What are we doing? Dude, and they bite them, I hear. But what do you think about that?
Dude, it's just where we at now, man, in the fishing game with four faces sonar. Hate it or love it, whatever your opinion is.
Yeah.
It's the hottest craze in bass fishing right now, and so I feel like all the companies, all the fishing brands have pivoted to cater to baits that are effective using four face sonar.
No
so
doubt.
whether it's a little dice with some little squid arms hanging off of it, or it's a depth charge by Bill Lewis, or I mean, every company you went to or you saw at ICAST, they're dropping baits that are made specifically for four face sonar, and that's where we at right now.
And dude, I think it's to hear a guy like you talk about that. You were, and I don't think you get enough credit for this, so I'm gonna give you damn credit for it right now. You're like an OG scoper. Yeah. You figured it out truly, dude. I think about Oahe, right? It was like low key what you were doing up there. Yep. I'll never forget it. And now the world is kind of caught up with it. But dude, you had it. You were like me with Garmin. You had it way before anybody else had it. So you've got as much experience with it as anybody. But that being said, where are you at with it? I mean, is it something, obviously in the game you're in, you got to utilize it. But I know Mark Daniels Jr., the Delta Daredevil, that I remember the first time I ever heard about a parabolic flipping stick was from my man, Mark Daniels Jr. The first time I really studied somebody flipping a mat was Mark Daniels. I'm like, wait a second now. He's doing something a little different. So where are you at with it right now today, I guess?
Man, here's the thing, man. The technology's been out for a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what the problem is that everybody's having is we're just now understanding and utilizing the true potential of the technology. So, like, we've had it for 7 years, 8 years, however long it's been, right? But we didn't know that you could get out in the middle and chase bass around and keep making repeated casts to him. Eventually, you're going to hit him just right. He's going to bite. We didn't know you could do that. That all just come about in the last 2 years, right?
Yep.
So I think that's I'm going to use this term loosely. That's the negative look of the technology.
Yeah.
Right? People don't like that. People don't like the visuals, the optics of you trolling around out in the middle of the lake, chasing one down, throwing a minnow to him and catching him. Yeah. Right? It's terrible for TV. People don't like that. And I get it.
Yeah, I do too, man, because a lot of bass fishing fans, and I watch as much live fishing doing all the jobs that I've got in this crazy world that I'm lucky to have. I watch as much fishing as anybody, and I'll promise you, I understand the guy that doesn't want to watch it. I'm just not going to get on Facebook and bitch about it. But I learn though. Also, when I'm watching Patrick Walters during an MPFL, trust me, I'm learning stuff. When I'm watching a Trent Palmer, when I'm watching these guys that are dialed, you learn a lot about bass. You learn a lot about what bass do. But for the viewer at home, they'd probably rather watch Mark Daniels Jr. skip a frog under a willow bush, and get that thing choked, right? Or flip in a mat and you got the braid in the battle. Like that's how you and I both grew up bass fishing, man. Like you were on the Delta out there flipping them up where you could catch giant bass doing that. I grew up, going down the bank with my dad, throwing a buzz bait and swimming a jig on the Tennessee River, like, and the Coosa River and that kind of stuff. I mean, that's what we did. We fished offshore too in the summer. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But I grew up, like, one of my first fishing memories with my dad as far as in a boat in a tournament was catching like a 5-pounder on a buzzbait. First bite I ever had on a buzzbait on Wilson Lake. And I'll never forget coming past this little patch of water willow and getting it flushed, man, and being like, oh my God. And
this is it.
So I get the frustration a little bit. I also, though, I'm kind of obsessed with it. I like using it when I go. I find myself, like you're saying, I'm just roaming around going, well, hell, like Wilson Lake, again, a lake that I fish a ton, near and dear to me, in between Pickwick and Wheeler. Kind of a highland lake on the lower end, river on the upper end. Kind of cool place, right? But in July and August, typically, fishing's terrible. Well, now with live scope, it's like, well, maybe it wasn't. They were just always just right over here.
Dude, it's open so much to so you asked me what's my take on it. I want to give you my opinion. Like I love the technology, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's the best thing long term for the sport of bass fishing. I'm gonna say that. But who doesn't love catching way more fish? Who doesn't love finding rocks and brush piles and so many different things out there that you had no idea was there? Of course we love that. It makes us better anglers, right?
No doubt.
But it's just changed the overall optics of the sport, man. It just has. I mean, before, like you said, you had guys skipping frogs, flipping, throwing square bills, etc. And now you just don't have that. You have guys chasing bass around with Nick minnows or throwing drop shots or whatever,
or Nico,
whatever the bait is, or a Nico, whatever the bait is. But you're spotting them out first, then you make the cast, and then you catch that fish. And I mean, again, it's just not exciting for television. But if you want to get your ass kicked real good in the tournament, go ahead and go out there and turn it off.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go here and fish these laydowns. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. You do that. Have fun.
About 2 weeks out of the year, you can do that and still compete. Yep. I think maybe. Yep. I think you can still do that. I'm not sure. I don't know. You guys are on the James River, and it's damn tidal. Shallow water heaven, and I'm watching guys scope the piss out of them. So,
yes, dude, listen.
Jacob Wheeler caught 400 the first day.
Exactly. And I used to go, you see a place like the James pop up on the schedule, and you go, you
instantly
think, chatterbait, square bills, etc., which ultimately did win the tournament. So shout out to you for that.
It did, yeah.
But you still, there is no such thing as not a scoping event anymore. It's not. Even Lake Okeechobee now is a scoping place.
Did you ever though, dude? And you have.
I never in my million years I thought it would be there.
And that was always a pond that you've got a lot of success in Florida, and Okeechobee in particular. You've done well there. You like that lake, suits your style, and I'm the same way. It's always been one of my favorite lakes because you can go there and just power fish, man. We're going to power fish. And it don't matter. I'm going to find the right area. I'm not going to have to change techniques because there's about 3 ways we catch them. I just got to find where they're at, and I'm going to be good, right? And now it's like, Scott Martin's using live. What just happened? What just happened?
Well, not only that, dude, they're in the canals chasing them around still.
I know. It's
changed.
It has changed,
bro.
We had a tournament on MPFL in Pickwick the week before I cast, and Pickwick has been in the last couple of years, a lot of friends of mine that fish it way more than I get to anymore. Like, man, we don't have the numbers of fish we used to have, and blah 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 blah. And the MPFL guys exposed it. Like they exposed it that they still there. They're like, no, they're right over here. You guys just don't know where to look for them anymore because we have a clean slate, right? We're coming in fresh, and they're over here now. And the numbers were still there. I mean, it was wild. I did coverage for 2 days, 10 hours of coverage, and they wrecked them for the first week of July. Yeah, it was crazy. Well, that's speaking of non-forward facing events, they don't exist anymore. I know the leagues, there's some talk about them limiting it. There's some talk about it being banned. There's some things circulating after ICAST. My question is, because I see fans go, well, if you guys would just schedule things differently, maybe you could avoid it.
Yeah.
But what you just said is, I don't think we're ever going to avoid it now that people know the power of it. But speaking of schedules, let me get your take on I've got the MLF schedule. I didn't read it off before. I thought, man, we'll go over it with Mark. So we're going Lake Conroe in January. That seems a little early, but it's got big ones.
Conroe's got big ones. I don't know if you guys recall a couple of years ago, we kicked the season off there. I want to say that's right. 2020.
Yeah.
2020? No, it was 2019. It was 2021, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
Kicked the season off there.
Yep.
And it was tough as nails for the most part.
Yeah.
A few really big fish caught. Now, that lake could have gotten better since then. I think I heard the grass has come back some on that lake. So it has a lot more potential maybe. But that was a really tough tournament. So, but we were not heavy on live scope at the time either.
Yeah, so I think
that's the thing.
There you go.
That opens up a whole new can of worms. Now, you go back with live scope in January, it might be phenomenal.
Wheeler might catch like 11 over 10 in the first day. You find a big old school of. I mean, seriously, that's what we look at. Texas, that time of year, dude, somebody's catching like a 14 on live scope. Like, it just happens now.
100%, bro.
And then y'all go.
I mean, that's if we're allowed to use it. We don't know.
No, you don't know. Yeah, everything's up in the air right now. Harris Chain, first week of February. That we know what that could be right there. A slugfest.
That's questionable too.
Yeah, it is for the
but February, anytime in Florida in February, January, February, you're susceptible to those cold fronts. We all know what they do to Florida fishing.
No doubt. Lake Murray, first week of March.
That should be a smash.
That's smash. I love the fact Red Crest is on Guntersville first week of April. That's going to be stupid. I have no doubt.
That should be a smash too.
I love Stage 4 Chickamauga Nickajack split. I think that's cool.
Out of Chattanooga.
Do you like those split events?
Too, man. I've always loved the split events, and two things I've always loved that Major League Fishing has done a pretty good job at. One is fishing multiple bodies of water in the same event. I like that, man. It's a fresh start.
Yeah.
It's a new look, and it's, I don't know, it's different, man. And I just like change. And so that, and then we go to new places, you know?
I agree,
and I love that. I get tired of fishing the same old places. Don't get me wrong, you're going to always have that, and we have that in our schedule. But I feel as though the league, they at least make attempts to bring us to new places.
And they go at weird times sometimes too, I think. And NPFL does the same. They kind of mix it up. They go to, hell, we went to a Lake Wright-Patman in Texas our first year, and we went again last year. Yeah. And it wasn't really on anybody's radar nationally. And it was the same with Saginaw Bay. We went to Saginaw Bay in 22. Now you guys have been, we're going back again this year. Yep. You guys are going back next year to end the year. Fantastic fishery, dude. Just
awesome.
That
place is awesome, bro.
Yeah, it's
unbelievable how many bass are in there.
Unbelievable, dude. And then I thought this one was interesting. This one's the asterisk for me in the year, and not because it's a bad place, because it's loaded. But Smith Mountain Lake for heavy hitters is kind of weird, I feel like.
Dude, I thought that was super weird when I saw it. I'm like, surely we going back to the Chowan River where we just caught all these giants.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. I'm like, but again,
it's got them.
I know nothing about Smith Mountain Lake, but it's different. It's new.
Yeah, I like that.
It's new.
I fished a Bass Open there one time. I showed up. I did not show out, but I did fish a Northern Open. David Dudley won it. David Dudley Cherry. He like just jumped in it last minute and just blew it out because he knew more about and dude, I'm all over the place as usual with my ADD, but I will say the thing I remember about that was he'd said in the article that he didn't even know what color jig he was throwing because he was colorblind.
No doubt.
I remember that.
Dude,
and I was thinking, I'm getting beat by a guy that don't even know what damn color jig is. And I'm out here trying to rig up at night and make sure all my crap's perfect. And this man just beat me. Didn't even know what color jig.
You know what's crazy about that? Amort was colorblind too, bro.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, man. Them hammers are cut. Maybe I need to go blind out here. is that what the trick is?
You can't. You can't go full blind, dude, because you got to be able to see live scope. You got to figure out how to have surgery just to remove the ability to see the color of your robo worms, your Yamamotos.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, dude, he was. I will never forget that. It was like an article in Bassmaster magazine. After that, I was like, "What? He don't even know what color jig he's throwing."
You don't even know what color he's using. And that, again, we give these bass too much credit, man.
For real, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
They don't care. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes they make me feel like they really care, but I think it's just because I'm a terrible angler. Sometimes, I think that's it more than anything. All right, dude. I want to ask you this. So, how much has the industry changed, in your opinion, or the whole fishing? Maybe the best way to put this is the dream for you from, say, the Federation days to now. I mean, you accomplished it. To me, you have. If it went away tomorrow and you said, you know what, I'm going to go sell real estate, you accomplished the dream, dude. You've won over $1 million. But I guess what I'm getting at is right now today, are you still you're just all in, just as enthused about it today as you were then?
I am not, dude. Again, when you have these dreams, bro, and everybody has these dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't have an opportunity to fulfill them.
Yes.
You know, for what life happens, hurdles get thrown in the way and they just never quite make it, man. But for me, having a dream, obtaining it, and then being able to stay out here, man. I see guys, man, we see it every day. I was just talking to Derek Hudnall at ICAST, man, and to see that story and hear that he's not the only one. There's several others, dude. It crushes me because I know the passion that he has for the game, right?
No doubt.
And I've been able to obtain a dream, and then to stay out here with some success and keep good sponsorships and what have you, to where I can continue to pursue the dream, man. And that's a big deal. So yeah, man, I'm just as eager and happy and enthused about the game now as I was back in 2014 when I started as a rookie.
And knowing you like I do, I know that that's the case, man. I feel it. You're infectious to be around. You are very positive. Always glad to run into you places, man. It always makes my day. And for me, dude, I remember I was such a big fan of Circuit Breaker. Shout out again to Kyle Wood.
Yeah.
But I was such a fan of that. If y'all don't remember that or haven't seen that, go dig through FLW YouTube. I guess MLF now, it's on there. Go watch Mark's season. But you didn't. I think that you and I are both very lucky individuals, and I didn't win $1 million fishing, but I am very fortunate to get to do what I get to do in this industry, which is really fulfill my dreams too, man. Like as a kid, I just wanted to be in it and around it. And if that meant hoisting a Bassmaster Classic trophy, or if that meant trying to be Jerry McInnes, right? Like that was truly like, I've just always loved all sides of it. And now I get to, maybe the original dream might've been more so on being a Bassmaster Classic champ or whatever. But what I get to do, man, I just pinch myself. But you and I are both people, you more so than me, I feel like the hurdles I feel like that you've had to overcome. Dude, you're a West Coast guy. You did not have this big trust fund. You made it through the damn TBF. Like that's what to go to a $1.1 million, I don't think that gets talked about enough. To win at the national level like you have, it's like, dude, you didn't have all your entry fees paid, and you didn't have somebody that was just like, here you go, man. And to do that and then uproot your entire life and move to Alabama because it made more sense for you financially to be on this side of the country. It made more sense for you, and just to uproot your life, dude. I don't know. I think your story is one of my favorites in bass fishing because of that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Luke. And dude, I mean, but that's how it happened, man. I mean, I tell people all the time, it's like the way I came into professional bass fishing, and this is not to try to be brag or nothing like that. It's just, it is what it is. I'd have to say this is the hardest way one could become a professional angler, right? Yeah. And there's other examples. There's a Matty Wong right now on the Elite Series. Same thing. These guys that come from the Federation, bro, these are the salt of the earth kind of people that had to fight so hard, bro, to get to that spot, because there's so many people shooting for that one spot, and there's only going to be one at the end of the year, right? And it's like a 1 in 30,000 or something like that,
That's
bro.
crazy.
yeah, the numbers were crazy when I heard it, and I'm like, what? And so, yeah, man, I reflect back on that, man, and again, to be a West Coast guy, you know, same with Maddie. You know, the odds are double stacked against us, and then you end up having to pick up and come east, which is not a problem for some, but when you don't have the finances to do so, it can be very difficult, man.
Yeah.
And that was my situation, but I just wasn't taking no for an answer, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it, man. And you can't.
I saw the opportunity.
That's it. You can't take no for an answer. I think I see a lot of negativity in social media comments about pro fishing, and you see people making videos that, you know, have we turned it into an elitist sport? And it's expensive, dude. It's expensive. I'm never going to look at this camera and go, get over yourself. It's not that expensive. It's expensive.
Right.
It's expensive. The young guys that I'm friends with that I know are chasing the same dream, that don't have, you know, a lot of financial backing from a trust fund, rich family or something, you know, or get blessed with some kind of crazy sponsor, gets a hard road. But
100%.
as I sit here and all the lowlifers that listen to the show each and every week, and they know my story, I left my former employer, I started my own thing. Hell, me and my wife last night sitting around talking about finances, and, you know, I walked away from a 20-year career making great money to just be happier, dude. And so when I hear you say, like, you're not gonna take no for an answer, you're not gonna quit. I say this a lot on this show and on other shows I've been in, but I promise you, if you want something, you can do it. I promise you, dude. You want it, you can get it.
You can get it, bro. And dude, I'm glad you said that. That's the truth. And then most people, honestly, I talk to, they give up, man, before they even gave it a legit shot, bro.
That's it.
It's like you had this dream, you took a step in that direction, and you didn't even notice behind the scenes you're like one step from making it. Close.
Yes.
But and then you didn't quit. I heard I was listening to a Nipsey Hussle interview one time, man. And Nip always dropping great knowledge, bro. But he said the only difference from me and you and the rest of the world, he's like, I didn't quit.
That's it.
That's it. And I was like, bro, that is the truth, man.
It is.
Seriously.
It's such a fine line, especially in fishing. You can be 100th and you were really close to winning. Listen to that again, folks at home. You can be 100th. If you see Mark Daniels Jr. finish 60th in a BPT, understand he was probably around juice to get him. And it comes down to a couple fish catches, a couple decisions. He rolls into an area and there's 3 of the top 5 in there and he's got to bail because he can't go in there. You know what I mean? Like it happens so much. It happened to me in the FLW Tour so many times where it's like, yeah, I sucked, but I watched the dude who was leading it going in when I'm packing my bags before I go to weigh in on day 2 to get my crap and go home. I'm watching him cull and he's leading going into day 3. Like the amount of times that you're so close in pro fishing, but it's life is like that. The stories I could tell of, and I hate when people say like right place at the right time, but you are in the right place at the right time because you put yourself there. Like I'm a firm believer in that because you show up and do the work. But the number of times in my life that randomly I'm standing in a conversation and I meet someone new that ends up being a major impact in my life, dude, my life is full of crap like that where I go, and it might have been a day where I was like, God, I feel like crap and I don't want to go do this, or I don't want to go be at that thing. And you wake up and maybe you're a little negative, then you kind of, you know what? You have the opportunity to go do things, go do it. And then you run into something like, I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me, dude. And it's the same with fishing, right? Hey, man, I'm tired. I'm going to quit practicing. And you go around one more corner and there they are.
And there they are. Found it.
Yep, there they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's
perseverance, man. You got to push through.
Yeah, and I think that, I don't know, man. I think, again, your story is amazing for that reason. Everything that you've been through in life. And I don't think it can be taken lightly. And there are a lot of guys that, I mean, Aaron Martin's moved his crew out east. You know, John Murray, a West Coast legend, one of the West Coast goats for sure. moved his whole crew. He's over at Watts Bar now. And I know there are a lot of other guys. Cody Meyer still tries to make it work. Cody's crazy.
Cody moved a little. He came about 8 hours closer.
I guess. Did he though? Isn't he still in Idaho or something?
I mean, he's in Idaho, so I mean, he's probably that's about 8 hours from Cali, but yeah, he's still West Coast.
He's still crazy. He's still crazy. I saw him in ICAST. I'm like, dude.
Boys do it.
Oh, listen. We've got the Bass Warrior Luis Fernandez over there on the
yes,
NPFL.
Sir. That's the homie.
Yeah. He loves him some MDJ. I love. He's fished with us all 4 years, dude. That guy, I was so pumped when he won last year. Yeah, so man. Pumped.
Oh,
but
sure.
We talk about him as much as we talk about anybody in the NPFL. In 4 years, I've said the name Luis Fernandez on average at every turn. I mean, it's crazy to think about in 4 seasons. Man. He's one of the most consistent anglers. He's, I think, number 3. Everybody puts a lot of weight on Patrick because Patrick's won so much in the last 3 years. He's got 4 events.
Of course.
But Luis with only 1 win is like either second or third in the all-time money winners over there. With only 1 win.
Dude's
yeah.
a hell of a fisherman,
yes,
bro.
he is, dude.
He always has been, man. Even back in the day back home, dude, on a Delta, Clear Lake, that dude's always been putting it down, man.
No doubt.
He's been at it for a minute, and that dude has the passion and the skills for sure.
Yeah, he's got big energy about it too, man. He cracks me up.
Yeah,
Luis is always, when we see we're gonna have Luis on camera, me and Fat Cat are always pumped because he's gonna bring it. And dude, he can get out there in 30 feet of water and shake a worm. He's like you. He can do it all, but he'd rather be flipping and up there in some mats somewhere.
Guarantee. Hey, he loves. If you ask him, I don't know this, but I just assume the California Delta got to be one of his top pictures.
Oh, it is. It is.
Top 2.
Yes. Yeah. He talks about the Delta a lot.
Yeah, man. It's an unreal place. And to go from the Delta, that's why, a place like Saginaw Bay is right at home.
Yeah, I've witnessed that. Right the 2 times we've been there, I've witnessed that right over his shoulder too. He figured some juice out up there both times. I'm sure he's looking forward to the next one. I noticed he was pre-fishing this week. We go to St. John's River in September. He was pre-fishing the St. John's. He ain't pre-fishing Saginaw. I think he ain't worried about that one. He ain't worried.
He's good. He's like, I'm straight here.
Yeah, he's not worried about that one at all. Why do you think, or when do you think, I guess it's kind of a 2-part question. Let me back up. Do you think we will ever see BPT, the elites, or the NPFL, or hell, even the invitationals go back out west? Will we see it?
I'm gonna say yeah, because I'm
hopeful.
I'm hopeful. Yeah, I'm hopeful and I'm positive towards that. But man, I've been yelling at Major League Fishing about it for so long, man. And that year when we had the split, where everybody left and ended up going to BPT and all that, the California Delta was on the schedule for that year.
Oh,
I'll never forget this. Yeah, dude. So I'm like, the first time we're about to go to my home pond in a national event, bro. Here I am trying to make a lifetime decision on where I'm gonna go. It was crazy, and then obviously I ended up leaving, and then they got so much pushback from the anglers on the travel.
They didn't go.
That they took it off the list, off the schedule, and I just like, damn, that was crazy. And that's the only time I've ever even had a sniff of coming back home. But yeah, I think these tours and these businesses, Major League Fishing, NPFL, Bassmaster, dude, you're not a true tour if you're not showcasing the entire United States, in my opinion, right?
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Not to mention, bro, we are sitting on some of the best fishing in the United States, hands down.
No doubt.
And there's so many places that you guys don't know of or are unaware of.
Yeah.
That are super good, dude.
Well, I just think about even you don't have to go all the way to Cali, and as far as I think about Mojave. I mean, the U.S. Open out there. Dude, I would love to see an event on Mead. Take the Bass Pro Tour to Lake Mead. Let's go. Like, I remember a Bassmaster there. Zell Rowland won it when I was a kid. It was a top 150, but I remember it was on ESPN when ESPN used to have Bassmaster. And I'll never forget that. It was one of the coolest tournaments to me growing up because that was so far-fetched for a Tennessee redneck, right? Like, oh my God, look how clear this water is. Dude, look what he's having to do to catch these bats. Like, it was so, and it's why I keep up with the U.S. Open every year, like, intently. Like, I love that event. Thought I was going to get to be at it this year, as a matter of fact. I was, and I hope next year, but I had a conflict. I was going to try to fish as a co-angler, actually, this year. I was going to go, I was going to do some other things out there. We were talking, shout out to Billy and the crew from One Bass out there. Good folks put on a hell of an event. And I will, damn it, I'm looking right at this camera. I will be in that event at some point in my life. I want to experience that.
That's the one tournament, especially being a West Coast guy. That's the one tournament I've always wanted to fish, and I never have. Like, the scheduling never works for me.
I didn't realize you never. I figured so. Not even in the early days.
No, back in the day, I couldn't afford it, man.
I got you.
Back in the day, your boy was super broke. Could not afford no U.S. Open. No, ain't no way.
That was ramen noodle days.
Hey, you know about it.
Hey, I know all about it, buddy. I know. Hey. Listen,
yes,
I know about hoping that the loaf of bread that you got while you're traveling around trying to catch a bass lasts all the way back home.
Dude, no doubt, man.
And the peanut butter.
I was surviving on the PB. Yeah.
Peanut butter honey was always my move because honey was cheaper than jelly. I swear. My wife at one time, dude, Marissa, the triple threat herself, she told me, she said, I think you have honey bears from everywhere you've ever been. I was fishing to her, the little honey bears. She's like, quit bringing home honey bears. But dude, they were like 87 cents at Walmart. I'd go get a damn loaf of bread, peanut butter, and honey bear. And that was food for most of the week. That'd be the food. That's a Wesley Strader trick. The honey is a Wesley.
Is that where you got that?
That's a W trick. That's a W trick. It used to be. He may be.
I can see W with some of that.
Dude. Hey, man, let me tell you. Hey, here's the deal. Gotta get the honey bear. Dude, they on lay downs in 2 to 4 feet of water, but you got to skip every third one. If you fish all 3 in a row, you won't get a bite, dude. I got it dialed. And most of the time, he was damn right.
Dude, he was right. For sure.
That guy's got gills, bro. He has got gills. Oh, yeah. But the stories, the book I could write about the first year I met you, when I was traveling as a co-angler with Wesley Strader, was a year I'll never forget, man. Good God. Practicing with Wesley.
You won Beaver Lake that year.
Yeah, and my wife reminded me, Mark, I'm going to make you feel old too, that next April, that'll be 10 years.
Oh, my God. Seriously.
10 years, dude. That was 2015. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Time's flying, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy. What a crazy fun year. Dude, John Hunter, that fishes BPT with you now, John won co-angler of the year that year. Joey Fuentes was a co-angler with me that year. Josh Weaver was co-angler, which I know Josh just dropped out over some sponsor stuff. But yeah, there were several dudes in it then. Jason Johnson, JJ. I think JJ's fishing again. JJ. But I met that was
talked to JJ forever.
Yeah, I hadn't either, man. That dude's a hammer. But that's when I got to know you though, and Cody Meyer and a lot of my friends to this day. That and hell, guys like James Watson around that time frame was when I met all the crazy. Oh yeah, the crazy and the crazy. Listen, my man was walking around damn ICAST with a cancel. He has a canceled. He put a sticker on his jersey. I saw. There? Yeah, I did not see him day one. I saw him on my way out on day 2 to go to the airport. Craziness. Yeah, he had a sticker that said "canceled" on his jersey.
Canceled on it. James is a damn fool.
Listen,
but we all knew that.
Yeah.
Before this. Though.
Listen, anybody that was surprised that James would get himself kicked off of any professional tour has not known James as long as we have.
Right. That's right.
He was capable, sure. Bill, when he was up there promoting Uranus Fudge Factory as a sponsor on FLW stage, and Bill Taylor standing going, James, hey, no, off the side of the stage. That's a family show. Don't say that. And then James would just go further in.
Did he have another one, Balls Deep?
Balls Deep. I forgot about that. Balls Deep.
Crazy.
That's
Yeah,
right. That was
loved it. Yeah.
that was like almost 10 years ago too. He was sponsored by a company called Balls Deep. I don't even remember what they made.
man.
They probably didn't make anything. He probably just made up the
didn't matter.
logo.
Yeah. Exactly. He probably just stuck a patch on his jersey. Balls deep, baby. Let's go. That's James.
So
man.
true, dude. So true. He had
That's
that.
it.
It was the Fudge Factory in Balls Deep. Oh my God. There's only one of them. Thank God.
Yeah, no doubt.
I got to talk to him for a second. He walked up and said, he and I used to have this really stupid thing that we said to each other, where I'd say, "You remember when I killed you?" And he'd say,
Oh my God.
and he'd
damn.
say, "What?" And I'd say, "No, you don't, because you were dead." That was mine and Watson's, like, stupid.
No, you don't, because you
For
were dead.
years, dude. And he would yell it, and he would yell it too on the water. Remember when I killed you? No, you don't, because you were dead. Just really stupid. So he walked up to me and said, "I didn't think you'd be here because I thought you'd be dead because I killed you." So I saw James.
Y'all boys wild.
Listen, hey, dude, he's selling those hats. And I didn't get a cut. What do you think about that, Mark? Do you think that's
Hey,
unfair,
man.
right? Because when you do your Delta
Yeah,
Daredevil shirts and hats, I know I'm getting a cut
That's it.
because I know you're my
Definitely
boy.
Yeah, you definitely got something coming. That's right.
But James, I gave James a platform to talk, and he sold all kind of hats, and now he's building that big mansion. And I know it's just because he's selling hats, and he won't give me a cut, and he won't
That's
talk
right.
to me about it.
He ain't giving you no. He ain't kicking you nothing back on the
No,
side.
he
huh?
ain't giving me nothing, dude.
You got to talk to him about.
My man's
that,
got a
bro.
full clothing line now, and I get nothing out of it. And I think that's, and I mean, I guess you got to negotiate up front.
Hey, yeah, you should have.
Lesson
got
learned.
you a contract.
lesson.
Straight up.
Lesson learned. Dude, I appreciate you so much coming on the show. I know we've been trying to do one for a long time. I've been very excited to get you on here.
It's been a long time
It's been a
coming.
long time coming. You are headed to St. Clair right now?
Literally in a truck right now.
Okay.
I'm up in your neck of the woods. I just crossed into Tennessee.
Damn, we could have done an in-person LBL.
Yeah, we could.
Damn
we
it.
could have. Look,
But you rolling.
hey, we definitely rolling, bro. I got this thing on 65 pointed north, man. Trying to get there.
Is it, I saw Wheeler post this morning. He said, is it an invitational you guys are fishing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an invitational type of warehouse invitational.
Okay.
And so, man, I love St. Clair, man. It's
Yeah.
literally one of the best lakes in our country. And if nothing else, I'm getting ready to just go have a week of fun, man.
No
I ain't got no
doubt.
points on the line, none of that. I'm here to win the Derb. But if we can't win the Derb, we're gonna damn sure have some fun. That's for sure.
Well, by looking at the Bassmaster Open weights up there from a couple weeks ago, just start.
Insanity.
If you catch 4-pounders, just throw them back because that
let 'em
place
go
is
up.
crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
Dude, I just can't even believe that, honestly.
With that many boats too, right? That was my thing. Is 225 will put a damper on a great fishery sometimes, just because everybody fishes the same areas a lot of times or whatever. It gets real crowded. But my God, them boys blasted them.
Dude, unbelievable. I think 18 pounds, right? If I've seen this right, 18 pounds.
Yeah, like in the hundreds.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm like, yeah, that's sick, man.
Yeah, that makes you want to
I'm
throw
trying
up.
to get on some of that.
Yeah, you
Oh,
need
it does,
to.
but at the same time, who gets tired of catching 4-pound smallmouth?
I'm never gonna
Not
get
me.
tired of that, dude. I don't care what they're biting.
No.
I don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll catch them.
Sign
I'll
me
catch
up.
them on a drop shot or a top water or whatever in between. I don't care. I just like catching a big smallmouth. That's for sure.
Straight up.
And you guys, and then after that, you got one more BPT for the year.
One more BBT. So we leave St. Clair and then we slide over to St. Lawrence River. Got a couple days off in between. Might hit up some little lakes on the way. Maybe
Okay.
drop in the Erie or something. I don't know. But yeah, man. One last event for me to slide my butt inside of Red Crest right now. I'm outside looking in.
I saw that.
And,
Got a little bit of work to
We
do.
got to get it together.
Got a
Yeah,
little
for
bit of
sure.
work to do.
Definitely.
All right, I'm going to end on this question. If fishing went away tomorrow,
Yep.
if it went away, if you said, hey, I'm going to hang it up, what would MDJ choose to do?
Man, that's a tough, good question. You know what's crazy? You know what fishing has taught me, though, since I'll have this experience now? Like, I probably couldn't go back to, like, your typical 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
I'd do something probably within the industry, but I'd be working for myself.
Okay. All right.
Straight up. That's the one thing fishing has taught me, man. It's like I had to unlearn everything I've learned in my life, whether it been, you know, I did the whole structured life, man.
Yeah.
You go to school, you get your degree, you go get a job, you work hard, you retire, right? That's, you know, we all been taught that.
It's the dream. That's the dream, right? Quote, and I'm using air quotes on camera. You can't see me, but yeah, that's what you're told is the dream, but it's not.
I've unlearned that. I'm gonna just say that.
I love it. And I feel like just from keeping up with you on social, you're passing that to your kids too. I get that. I get that vibe. Man. Yeah, I get that
100%. It's all for me, man. It's the one thing again. Just learning through my own life and trials and tribulations, man. Whatever you do, you need to love it, man. The money will come, but you need to love what you're doing. Otherwise, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah, and we get one go round this thing. One go round. That's exactly. It. That's it.
Exactly.
And that's the most important thing.
Part.
Mark Daniels Jr., you're a real one. You always will be in my book. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you, brother.
Be safe and good luck this week, dude.
Right on, Luke. Appreciate
Thank you, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, MDJ, Mark Daniels Jr., right there from the Low Budget Live hotline, hooked up, provided by Eagle Claw Fishing right there. Love that dude. We have been trying to do a low budget interview for a long time. And again, I know I say this about a lot of people, and I mean it about a lot of people. He's one of my favorite people that I've ever met in this entire industry. And he is very positive. He's a great family man and a hell of a fisherman, hell of a story. And I appreciate him joining us this morning. I appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in for Low Budget Live each and every week. Got a lot. I'm working on some new things, so y'all bear with me. Southern Boating Supply. Y'all check it out. LBL10 at southernboatingsupply.com. Saves you money. We got some new stuff we're fixing to drop, hopefully this week, maybe next week. Southernboatingsupply.com, LBL10. You low-lifers, saves you some money. Get you a hat, get you a shirt, get you a Hook Haven. Some new products coming. Take you out with Biloxi Blues, and I will see y'all next week.
I never could make it last.
See ya.
Spanish moss and Civil War ghosts, well, I'm gonna leave them in the past. Any direction, Lord, I'll be fine. It don't matter east or west. North, south, wherever the wind blows, I'm leaving those burdens at rest. This highway, it does not know my name, and I don't care, no, I don't care. Heading my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get